Hello and a very warm welcome to Cognito Key. Have you ever stopped to think about how your computer does so many things at once? You're listening to music, writing an email, and you've got like a dozen browser tabs open, all without it just completely crashing? Well, the magic behind all that multitasking is something called Interprocess Communication, or IPC for short. And today, we're going to decode this secret language of your computer. We're going to see how different programs, or what we call processes, actually talk to each other behind the scenes to get things done. Trust me, understanding this is like getting a backstage pass to how your operating system really works. So let's get right into it. So here is what we have on the agenda today. First, we'll meet the secret workers inside your computer. Then we'll figure out why they even need to talk to each other. We'll look at the challenges this creates. And finally, we'll explore the two main, really clever ways your computer manages all this chatter. To make sense of all this, let's use an analogy. Just imagine your computer's operating system is one big, busy office. Every single app you run, your browser, your music player, anything, is a process. Think of it as an office worker who has a very specific job to do. And these workers, well, they come in two main types. On one hand, you have the independent process. This one's the lone wolf, it works all by itself, doesn't share its data, and is completely unaffected by what anyone else is doing. But then you have the cooperating process. This is the team player. It shares information, and what it does affects other processes, and it gets affected by them too. And it's these team players that are the real stars of our show today. So the big question is, why is this teamwork so important? I mean, why can't every process just be a lone wolf and do its own thing? Well, just like in any real office, collaboration has some amazing benefits. There are four main reasons this happens. First up, information sharing. You might have multiple apps that need to access the very same file. Then there's computation speedup. A really big task can be broken down and given to several processes to work on at the same time, which gets it done so much faster. Third is modularity. It just means we can build really complex things from smaller, simpler parts. And finally, and maybe most importantly, it's all about convenience for you. It's the very reason you can be printing a document while you're editing another and listening to your favorite songs, all at once.
But okay, imagine that busy office again. What if everyone tried to talk at the same time, scribble all over the same whiteboard, and grab the same files without any rules? It would be total chaos, right? Well, it's exactly the same for computer processes. Communication without rules is just a recipe for disaster.
This brings up a really critical point. How does the operating system, who is basically our office manager, prevent all this chaos and keep everything running smoothly without any hiccups? So, this office manager has to solve three main problems. First, it needs to set up a clear way for processes to exchange information. Second, it has to make absolutely sure they don't step on each other's toes or interfere with each other. And third, if some tasks depend on others, it has to enforce the correct order. The whole key is to establish solid rules for safe communication. So, how does the OS actually pull this off? Let's look at the first brilliant solution. It's called the shared memory model. And the easiest way to think about this is giving our office workers a big shared whiteboard. Technically speaking, what happens is one process creates a specific region in the computer's memory. Then other processes that need to talk can attach themselves to this region. This creates a common ground, a shared space, where all these processes can read and write information directly. This is exactly like our shared whiteboard. It is super fast and incredibly efficient. Any worker can instantly see the latest updates from others and add their own notes for everyone else to see. The data is just right there, accessible to the whole team. It's a fantastic method. But, as you can imagine, it requires some very careful coordination to make sure two workers don't try to write on the same spot at the same time. But what happens if your team members aren't in the same room? What if they're on different floors of the building or maybe even on different computers halfway across the world? Well, a shared whiteboard is not going to work then, is it? We need a completely different approach. And this brings us to solution number 2, the message passing model. Now, in this model, processes talk to each other without sharing any memory space at all. Instead, they send and receive messages, kind of like sending emails or text messages back and forth. This method is absolutely perfect for what we call distributed systems, where processes might be running on totally different computers connected over a network. So instead of that public whiteboard, our office now has a super efficient internal mail system. Each process can just package up its information into a message and send it directly to another's inbox. It's definitely more structured and, in many ways, safer than the shared whiteboard, but the trade-off is that it's usually a little bit slower. And this mail system has two cool delivery options. The first is synchronous, or blocking. This is like sending a package that needs a signature. You, the sender, send the message, and then you just wait. You can't do anything else until you get a confirmation that it's been received. The other option is asynchronous, or non-blocking. This is like dropping a letter in the mailbox. You just send it, and then you immediately get back to your own work, trusting that it'll get there eventually. So, the next time you're copying text from your web browser into a document, all while your music is playing in the background without a single skip, you'll know that it's these clever communication strategies making it all happen so seamlessly. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Which of these styles, the shared whiteboard or the internal mail, is busy powering your favorite apps right now? And that's a wrap for this explainer here on Cognito Key. If this helped you understand the secret conversations happening inside your computer a little better, please do hit that subscribe button and don't forget to write and share it with your friends. Thanks so much for watching.